So let's talk about something that's probably been on your mind if you're running SAP S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. What is the deal with the new upgrade schedule? If that question's been floating around, you're in the right place because we are about to make it all make sense. You know that feeling like you're constantly chasing a moving target with SAP upgrades? The planning, the testing, the go-lives, yeah, it can be a lot. But what if I told you it's all about to get way simpler and a whole lot more predictable? Let's break it down. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into the new upgrade rhythm itself, the new heartbeat of the system. Then we'll talk about what this new pace actually means for you and your team in the real world. We'll get super clear on who's responsible for what, your role versus SAP's. And then my favorite part, we'll give you a practical toolkit for finding what's new today and even how you can help decide what's coming tomorrow. Sound good? Let's dive in.
All right, first up, the new upgrade rhythm. I want you to think of it like a train schedule, but, one that actually runs on time. That's really the goal here. SAP is moving away from that feeling of constant disruption and shifting towards a much more predictable journey of innovation.
So here's the headline, the big change. After 2023, SAP officially moved S/4HANA to a 2-year major release cycle. And because the Cloud Private Edition uses the exact same powerful core software as the on-premise version, this new, much calmer pace, it applies directly to you. You can finally take a breath and say goodbye to those intense, back-to-back annual upgrade projects. Okay, so let's actually walk through this timeline. It all kicks off with a new base release. Let's say the 2025 version, right here. Think of this as the big train pulling out of the main station. Now, for the next 2 years, every 6 months, you get what are called feature pack stacks, or FPS. These are like smaller, scheduled stops along the route, delivering fresh, non-disruptive features. Then, once the next big train leaves the station, say the 2027 release, your 2025 version isn't just abandoned. Nope, it just switches over to a different track where it starts getting support pack stacks, or SPS. Let's look at what that really means. So what's the real difference here? It's actually super simple. Feature packs, those are your new toys. They're all about adding new value, new tools, and new functionality for your business users. But, and this is key, without breaking what you're already doing. It's like a phone update that gives you cool new camera modes. Support packs, on the other hand, are all about stability. Rock-solid stability. These are just your security patches and fixes after the main innovation has moved on to the next release. So you get 2 years of new features, followed by years of pure, stable support. Okay, so we've got this new rhythm, these different kinds of packs, but let's get down to it. What does this actually mean for you? For your budget, your team, your sanity? Well, it really boils down to 2 fantastic things: more time and more stability. This right here, this number, 7. This is an absolute game changer. Mainstream maintenance for every base release has been bumped up from 5 years to a full 7 years. That is a huge extension on your system's supported life, and honestly, a massive weight off your shoulders when it comes to planning. So let's just connect the dots on what this means. 7 years of support, that gives you so much more breathing room for planning major upgrades. It means more stability for your users day to day, and the bottom line is it means you're now only required to do a major upgrade once every 7 years to stay in mainstream maintenance. For anyone involved in long-term IT strategy, that is a massive, massive win. Okay, this next part is crucial. Who actually does what during an upgrade? This whole new model is built on the idea of a clear partnership, and knowing your role, well, that's the key to making the whole thing go smoothly. So this breaks it down perfectly. As part of your Rise with SAP contract, you can ask for 1 upgrade a year, and SAP, they handle the technical side. They do the heavy lifting in the background. But, and this is a big but, you are in the driver's seat. You, or your implementation partner, you're responsible for all the critical stuff, the planning, the preparation, and especially all of the testing. This is where your team of admins, developers, and business users are absolutely essential to make sure everything works just the way it's supposed to. So SAP pushes the technical buttons, but you own the project success. All right, we've got the how and the why down. Now let's get to the fun part, finding all the cool new features you get after an upgrade. Think of this as part 1 of your upgrade toolkit. SAP actually makes this super easy. Right after an upgrade, you'll see this little notification banner pop up right in your Fiori Launchpad. You just click the link and boom, a sidebar slides out with all the latest goodies relevant to your users. It's discovery made simple right where you work. Now, if you want to go for a real deep dive, you'll head over to the What's New viewer on the SAP Help Portal. This thing is the master list. It has everything. And because it has everything, the trick is to use the filters. You really want to narrow it down by your active business processes and components to find the changes that are actually going to matter to you. Okay, so that's how you find out what's new right now. Let's switch gears and talk about part 2 of your toolkit, the tools you can use to look into the future and maybe even shape it a little bit. And for this, you've got 2 main tools in your belt. First up is the SAP Roadmap Explorer. This is basically your crystal ball for seeing what's planned down the road. But the second one, the Customer Influence and Adoption Portal, this is where things get really powerful. This is where you can actually request new features and upvote ideas from other customers. And hey, don't for a second think your feedback just goes into a black hole. It really, really matters. I mean, look at this quote from SAP. So many of the features you see on the roadmap actually started as requests from customers just like you. The ideas that get the most votes, they go directly to SAP's product managers. It is your direct line to help build the software you depend on every day. So let's wrap this up. What do we got? A new, predictable upgrade cycle that's way less stressful. We've got more stability, more time for your team, and a clear toolkit to see what's new now and what's coming next. You even have a direct line to influence the product's direction. So the only real question left is, what feature will you request next? All right, so you've done